Hi guys, something very important has just happened with Bolt in Kenya. This is something that drivers asked for and Bolt has delivered, but I think as taxi drivers we really need to be very careful what we ask for, because something that we all cried, we all told Bolt and Uber to think about, they have thought about it, they have done it the way drivers asked for it, but it is now haunting drivers. And I will explain this to you guys in very few words. And some drivers have called me and they have told me that they have slept hungry for the last 4 days. They have received zero trips. They have not made any money with Bolt because of a decision that Bolt made because drivers asked for it. And this is what happened. In the ride hailing or in the taxi business, a lot of the vehicles we know are the small ones, from 650cc all the way to 1300cc. So drivers had said that there is no way a vehicle like Honda Fit, a vehicle like Mazda Demio, a vehicle like Nissan Note can carry with the same amount of fare like a 650cc vehicle like a Suzuki Alto, a Daihatsu Mira. So a Daihatsu Mira is relatively cheap. You'll buy it for 900,000. And Honda Fit, you will buy it for 1.5 million. But what was happening is that these two vehicles were operating in the same space. So drivers said that people who have Mazda Demio, people who have maybe Toyota Vitz, relatively powerful vehicle, a bit more comfortable. They said they want to be categorized in a class that allows them, to have some prestigious amount of money better than those who are carrying with 650cc. And Bolt did exactly that. So they said that if your vehicle is below 1000cc, that vehicle will be in the Bolt economy category. Okay? And this is the cheapest category. You as the passenger, if you open your app and you want to request a trip today, you will find that the trip that charges around 200 shillings for the cheapest trip, around 250, you'll find that Bolt economy is the one at the top of the list. And then below that is the vehicles between 1000cc to 1300cc. And I'll give you examples of these vehicles. That will be now what we call the Bolt base category. Okay, so normally in your app as the passenger, it will just appear as Bolt. Okay, so that is the second category for vehicles between 1000 and 1300cc. And then for the vehicles that are relatively bigger, and we are not going to dwell on this, it's what they are calling the comfort category between 1300cc to 1500cc. But again, there are some more requirements for it to be in the category of comfort, because they are saying it should have an AC, it should have some luxurious features and those kind of stuff. So we are not going to discuss about the comfort. We are going to discuss about the Bolt economy and the Bolt base. So what has just happened is that anybody with this kind of vehicles, Nissan Note, Nissan March, okay, Honda Fit, Mazda Demio, okay, have all been transferred into this new class of Bolt base. And you know what? People who use taxis in Kenya, they use it because of affordability. Okay? So when riders are now requesting for trips, they are only requesting on the Bolt economy category. They are only requesting on the 1000cc and below. Okay? And that is the economy. People within 1000cc and 1300cc, they are getting zero trips. And this is the truth. I met 3 drivers yesterday. They told me that they only did trips with Uber and nothing with Bolt at all. Especially people with those vehicles that I have mentioned. The Nissan March, the Nissan Note, the Mazda Demio, anything below between 1300 and 1000cc, they are making 0 shillings. And the question is, why did all this happen? I think the move by Bolt had good intentions. because they were trying to just confirm to drivers that we have the goodwill. We are telling you that for all the money you have spent on bigger vehicles that are costing you between 1.2 and 1.5, of course, you should not be paid like someone who bought their car at between 700k and 900k, and these are the Suzuki Altos. But now one big thing that nobody saw coming is that people who use taxis in Kenya, they have zero regard to comfort, they have zero regard to vehicle size or whatever. What they want is just something that carries them from point A to point B. And that's why people with this vehicle, the Suzuki Altos, for the last few days, they have made a killing. They have been busy with back-to-back trips. But people with the Bolt base have made zero trips, and I will tell you why. And I just want you to take your phone out. If you are there, just take your phone out, open the Bolt customer app. Okay, it's called the Bolt Rider. Get it out. Okay, have you opened your app? Just look at the prices. Just put a destination from, I don't know where you are. Maybe put from your current location to maybe Nation Center. Okay, just check the price difference between Bolt Economy and the Bolt, whatever is written Bolt there, but it's the Bolt base. You'll find that right now there is a significant difference in the price that the customer will pay, because traditionally the difference between the Bolt base and the Bolt Economy, the difference was very, very minimal. It was something like 20 shillings or 10 shillings. But right now you'll find that even for short distance trips, it is significantly different, even to the tune of like 70 shillings, 150 shillings. So you'll find that if Bolt Economy is charging you around 220, the Bolt base will charge the customer around 320. A cool 100 shillings difference. Who will pay for this? No Kenyan. And then remember, the difference between Bolt base and the Bolt Economy is actually not in the number of people you are carrying. It's simply the engine size. This is a 3-seater for the passenger. This is the 3-seater for passenger, because they allow two people behind and one person to be at the co-driver seat. So for the people traveling with the Bolt base, it does not change anything. Okay? And I feel like this class will struggle. Even if it will pick up one day, I don't know whether people using taxis differentiate between a Suzuki Alto and a Nissan March. I hardly think that they differentiate. Only drivers can differentiate because they know the cost of fuel, they know the consumption and the driving experience. But people being carried, in most cases, have no idea about what is the difference between any of these. But this is what I think will happen. You know, in the recent past, we have seen that that Uber deleted what they call Uber X, because they only retained ChapChap. What they did is that ChapChap. So Uber had the same categorization that Bolt has done, but they dismantled Uber X and downgraded all the vehicles back to ChapChap, because they realized these vehicles that they were saying were between 1300cc and 1500cc. They belonged actually from 1000cc. They used to belong into the Uber X. And then drivers in this category were not actually getting trips. And then Uber over time, they took that statistic and said, there is no need to keep these drivers hungry. We better do away with this Uber X and bring everyone back to Uber ChapChap. And that's what they did. But drivers complained a bit because they said big vehicles have now been brought down. But the reality is Uber was allowing for what we call doubling. Okay? In a way that if you have that Nissan Note, you had a choice to make. You could have chosen to operate on Uber X or you operate on Uber ChapChap. It's for you to choose, because in any case, your vehicle is big. You can choose to carry under the lower class, but you are not allowed to carry under the class above you. But classes below you were accepted. But what Bolt has done, so Uber saw that there was no need for that intermediary class. But now for this Bolt base and the Bolt economy, there is no what we call doubling. You cannot choose if this is your vehicle here. You cannot choose to carry, if your vehicle has been allocated economy, it is good. Everybody wants to be in economy right now because that's where the demand is. That's where the end user can afford. But people who have been allocated base, normally, because this is a superior class, they should be allowed to carry the economy class if they choose. So you can press a button there like it used to be in Uber. You can press that button and say, I want to carry with Bolt economy even if my vehicle belongs to the Bolt base. And that way, if you have a bigger vehicle, then you have a wider market. But right now, Bolt has just restricted everyone to their class. So, and the end users in Kenya, they are not ready to pay any bigger amount to be taken to the same places they used to go. So they are going to stick with this, and drivers are going to have a very tough time. But I think that it is just a matter of time. Bolt, I believe they are just doing some research or some study. Once they collect the numbers, all these things will change because it is unsustainable, it is not feasible, and it cannot work. Cheers, guys. If you are a driver out there, just comment down and tell me how many trips have you made with your Bolt base allocation that was done recently. Cheers, and see you in a few other videos.